NBC 10 Rio 100. Brought to you by MD Anderson Cancer Center at Cooper.
The rhythm of Rio. Brazil's beautiful beachside city prepares for the Olympic Games. The majesty, the mountains, the samba, and the sea. The stories you won't see anywhere else.
You might say it's like Reading Terminal on steroids.
You're watching Rio 100.
The eyes of the world and the best in the world will soon be focused here on gorgeous Rio de Janeiro as it becomes the first South American city to ever host the Summer Olympics. Welcome to Brazil. I'm Jacqueline London. What may have seemed an impossible dream to the residents of Rio a decade ago is now reality. Throughout the next 30 minutes, I'll take you on a tour of this stunning city as it gets ready to flaunt its beauty on the grandest stage of all.
The beach, the beauty, the blessing. This is Brazil.
Welcome to Olympic Games.
Nestled between the Atlantic Ocean and a sweeping mountainside, the 6 million people of Rio de Janeiro show a constant love of life, passion for parties, and can't wait to welcome with open arms their biggest visitor to ever come ashore. The second largest city in Brazil, christened with the Olympic Games.
How are the people of Rio receiving the Olympics coming here?
We expect to see a great party. Let's see. We want to see something extraordinary.
And time again, Rio has exemplified extraordinary with its legendary carnival. And the samba. Excellence is expected here. But perhaps its most endearing quality of all, everyday ease.
Tell me about the culture of the beach and Brazil.
We say the beach is our office, because it's normal in Brazil, we don't like to stay at home.
For many, the beach is not just a way of life, it is their life. And what better place to talk to the people of Rio than Copacabana Beach?
Beaches in Brazil, it's something that makes part of our birth, because you can have fun, you can surf, you can do sports, or you can just sit down and relax. And so that's why we say it's our office.
And if it's their office, attendance is 100%. Never a sick day, and overtime all the time. But just as prevalent as the passion in Brazil is the poverty. 21% of the population lives below the poverty line in favelas or shanty towns that reach far into the hills. Jose Halu is part of that 21%, living in a shanty town and coming to his office on the beach every day, walking a fine line to make a little money and teach anyone interested his craft. He even invited me into his office to see how tough his job is.
Hands now, and step, step.
And we'll come back to that after a little practice. When the people of Rio, also called cariocas, are away from the sand, you'll often find them on the streets of Brazil, expressing their culture through capoeira. A blending of Brazilian martial arts, acrobatics, and dance, originating with African slavery in Brazil.
And know about my history, the history about my peoples, and I love capoeira because everything. I'm a capoeirista.
It's a game of relationship. It's like two characters relating. For me, it's something that it's like you never know what you're gonna get.
Rio, to many, is one big passionate playground, with everyone spending some time here on the beach, their sanctuary on the sand.
There you like equal, you can't tell like you wearing bathing suits, like if you're rich or poor, so I think there's a place that everyone in Rio feels comfortable, I guess.
Comfortable? A relative term. This job, harder than it looks.
One behind, and ahead, don't think, one step. No, try.
Hardly an Olympic sport, still a challenge.
Around the world, it is known that Brazil can throw a party, exemplified every year with the wildly popular Carnival. The Summer Olympics, arguably one of the world's biggest showcases. There are real concerns here, though, over a struggling economy, poverty, Zika, pollution, and crime, and whether the city can rise to the occasion of the Olympic Games.
Rio de Janeiro.
In 2009, Rio won the bid, beating out Chicago, Madrid, and Tokyo. The city erupted, a dream come true, and Copacabana Beach going crazy. But a lot has changed in Rio in 7 years. The head of the Olympic Organizing Committee knows better than anyone how much work still needs to be done to make sure Rio is ready.
If the bidding were happening right now, do you think Rio would get the games in the state that Rio is in right now?
We have the same passion. We never lost the passion. We never lost the willing to deliver. We never lost the focus that we could win.
But what they did lose, clean water, a strong economy, and political stability. What they gained, they would prefer to lose, fear over a mosquito, overwhelming obstacles at any time, let alone when the world is watching and descending. More than 500,000 tourists expected, 15,000 athletes. While the fears aren't stopping locals from diving in, one of the biggest concerns is the water. Just beneath one of the top tourist destinations in Rio, Sugarloaf Mountain, is Guanabara Bay. It's home to the sailing events and is filled with polluted water, clogged with raw human sewage. The smell, noticeable.
Authorities promised a reform of the city's sewage system and that 80% would be treated. Has that happened?
It's happening. We are in close collaboration. We're supervising all the works being done. Progress is happening. Athletes are going to be on a safe environment to compete.
The International Olympic Committee said if needed, they would move the events to the Atlantic Ocean. Do you foresee that happening?
Not at all.
The rough waters continue into the political landscape as well, with calls for the impeachment of the Brazilian president and accusations of corruption.
Economists fear Brazil may be entering the worst recession in 25 years. Are you concerned about the economic and political landscape with so many people coming here for the Olympics?
This is a concern countrywide. Is it putting the games at risk? No.
But what about the risk regarding that mosquito? More than just a pest, it's the bug that has paralyzed the world with fear. With signs posted around Rio and a campaign saying a mosquito is not stronger than a country, they are zeroing in on Zika.
Simple actions as combating the mosquito, complex actions of fumigating venues, we are not going to be at risk for anyone who's coming visit.
A team effort by the city, state, and federal government to combat and mitigate the risk of Zika. But when you talk to locals and tourists, they have not been bitten by any fear of the bug.
There's always stuff going on all over the world, but you know, if you worry about all of that, you're just gonna sit at home in your closet. We like to get out.
A sentiment the city hopes will be echoed around the world, so that when it's time for the games to begin, the people will come. Many say faith is believing what you can't see. Here, people come from around the globe for what they've dreamed of seeing. Much more than a mere image for these visitors, this is heaven on earth. Christ the Redeemer revealing itself and instantly becoming clear why it's one of the new 7 wonders of the world.
We knew it was one of the 7 wonders of the world, and it was kind of that awe factor, I think, when we saw it. No, it's really fantastic.
It's surreal, especially with the clouds blowing in and out and the fog covering the face and uncovering it from time to time and the sun shining through.
The stunning silhouette is visible from almost any point in the city. Built in 1931 at the hands of a French sculptor, the 1,000-ton statue was made to be a symbol of peace, now a symbol of Rio.
What is it like to see it in person?
It's a little crazy, actually. He's very big, as we expected.
It's very overwhelming, I guess, to kind of be here and share in that moment that so many other people have, I guess, shared in. We're really blessed to be here, and we're very thankful.
Standing at 125 feet tall, millions of people flock here to see Christ the Redeemer statue with his arms outstretched as if he is embracing and blessing all of those beneath him. They come here to try to get as close as possible to that embrace, and despite the crowds, they attempt to get their private moments and holy images.
Oh, it's kind of quite peaceful almost to be up here, even though it's really busy. Kind of when you're just staring up at it, it's quite kind of, you feel quite peaceful.
Cristo Redentor, as it's called in Portuguese, is the most photographed tourist attraction in Brazil. And as much as the 5,000 visitors a day want to live in the moment here, it's almost impossible not to try to capture the special moment, going to extreme lengths to somehow be in the same frame any way they can. Erected to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Brazil's independence from Portugal, Christ the Redeemer now means so much more to those who come to stand before it, arms wide open, hearts touched, lives changed, with one unforgettable encounter in the sky. One of the best ways to get an incredible view of Rio de Janeiro is by coming here to the top of Sugarloaf Mountain. You can see all of Rio by riding a cable car up and then taking it back down, and you can see Cristo Redentor at the top of the hill across the way. They say more than 1 million tourists come here every year, and this is the best time to come, at sunset.
For me, this is one of the symbols of Brazil, and to be here right now with my family is really important to me. It's very emotional.
This is the view that attracts the world, a bird's eye view of Rio, its mountains, lakes, the Atlantic, and a glowing Christ the Redeemer statue, likely to take your breath away just as much from a distance as it does up close.
This is a very Catholic country. We are Roman Catholics, so for us it means a lot to be close to the statue.
It's gorgeous. We were just there a couple hours ago. So to go from Cristo to come here, the view is beautiful, and like the view of the ocean is great.
I'm sure we're better off out than in.
Many came to know Sugarloaf from Bond, James Bond, featured in the 1979 film Moonraker.
We watched the James Bond clip earlier today, and just to see, and so we can see the sort of what we would expect, but you know, in person it's much better, obviously.
A place where capturing the beauty through the small lens of a camera phone is virtually impossible, but doesn't stop the world from trying. And when you're 5,000 miles away from your home of Philadelphia, the last thing you're expecting to hear is the beloved chant. Philly found in Rio.
We came over here and then we saw the camera and it was like, oh look, it's Channel 10. So we were excited when we saw you.
And the feeling was mutual to get brotherly love from this far away. The Safos family from Middletown, Delaware.
I'm actually originally from Brazil, but I'm not from Rio. But I love to come to visit for the beaches, for the weather, for the people.
I had to get their take on the best bites in Brazil.
Rodízio churrasco. Oh yeah, meat, just like beef. The beef. It's so good.
But for now, the view is satisfying all appetites, a view Rio can't wait for the rest of the world to see and instantly fall in love with.
Coming up on Rio 100, Rio's revolutionary Olympic venues.
It is called the Arena of the Future.
We'll show you where Carly Lloyd will go for the gold and the innovations designed to give stadiums new life after the games. Plus,
I have to get a coconut.
Yeah, and take a picture, a selfie, okay, please.
a taste of Rio. From fruit to fish, a feast for your eyes and your stomach.
So good.
Rio 100 is coming right back. Inside the Park, brought to you by Pond Lehocky Stern Giordano, the workers' compensation law firm.
When you think of the passions of Brazil, there are many. Carnival, capoeira, samba, and soccer, as evidenced by this Brazilian soccer shirt I'm wearing that you can find all over Rio de Janeiro. Behind me is Maracanã Stadium. It is arguably the most famous football or soccer stadium in the world. And it's where New Jersey's own Carli Lloyd hopes to win her 3rd gold medal with the U.S. women's soccer team.
Since her dominating World Cup performance, Carli Lloyd has been a household name, known for scoring crucial goals in the clutch, punctuated with that hat trick, where we all saw why she's the best soccer player in the world.
I think, the whole world watches the Olympics, whether they're a soccer fan or not.
Her next field of dreams, here, the home of the Men's World Cup final in 2014. For years, organizers have been looking at this 3D model of what's to come with the Olympic Park. Now the life-size version is finally almost ready. An added source of pride for Brazil, this is the first time the infrastructure of an Olympic Park has been constructed almost exclusively with private money. And after the Olympic Games, the park will live on. This building, where handball will be played, is appropriately called the Arena of the Future.
As a matter of fact, is a venue designed to be transformed into 4 schools after the games.
It's almost constructed like a
It is
puzzle.
like a puzzle, yeah. We play with it. Everything is codified.
This is where many of the finest athletes will converge. It's the Olympic Park, which will be the heart and pulse of the Olympic Games, covering a vast area of more than 1 million square miles. And that building right there, Arena 1, is where Elena Delle Donne will take to the court. She is the reigning WNBA MVP and quite likely the best athlete to ever hail from Delaware.
6'5" forward and hometown hero Delle Donne, a high school star at Ursuline Academy in Wilmington, will hit the hardwood with the rest of Team USA, expected to dominate in their 6th consecutive quest for Olympic gold.
It's always been a huge dream of mine, and when I was asked to play in the World Games, I was like, absolutely. So it really was a no-brainer. Anytime I get to step foot on a court with USA across my chest is a blast.
USA across her chest and hopefully gold around her neck. Just as workers make their final tweaks, so do the athletes, fine-tuning to bring their best to Brazil. Coming up,
I don't see this in America.
a taste of Rio.
It's amazing.
We'll bring you where the Brazilians go to eat when Rio 100 returns.
A Taste of Rio, brought to you by CarSense, where used cars look like new.
When you visit Brazil, the most popular sights and sounds are a must, but so are the tastes. We caught up with a brother and sister from Rio who went to visit a relative in Philadelphia and fell in love with the city so much they ended up staying for years until homesickness took over.
And I miss my family, my friends, and the beach. Because Philadelphia, there's no beach.
Now back in their home country, they gave my senses a treat as we toured the mecca of markets, talking about food and, of course, Philly.
I fell in love with the city.
What did you love most about Philly, besides the Eagles?
The food. The food is awesome. The Philly cheesesteak, oh, I miss it so much.
You do?
I do.
I guess it's hard to find a cheesesteak in
I
Brazil.
can't find it here. I look everywhere, I can't find it.
Stan and Marjorie still keep memories of our city close to their heart, of when they first saw snow, the Rocky Steps, and Ben Franklin, his bridge and parkway.
The art museum area, because I lived in Philadelphia, so I like the action and the people walking around. And Ringerhouse Square, I love there.
They say what both cities have in common, great taste.
If there's something that I have to try here in Brazil, what is it?
You gotta try the feijoada.
What is it?
It's black beans with meats, all kinds of meats. Jerk beef, sausage, collard greens, rice.
How does it compare to a cheesesteak?
You can't compare that.
When you come to Brazil, you have to come to the market. This one is 3 stories. It's open 24 hours. You might say it's like Reading Terminal on steroids. One of the things you won't find at Reading, a goiaba, this incredible, sweet, delicious, succulent fruit.
Fruit for days, a lot of it you may never find in America.
It's like a breakfast size. It's perfect.
In America, we only see this part.
Yeah, not the fruits, yes. But it's actual fruit.
Who knew? Cashews like you've never seen before, the way they actually grow, attached to a fruit that apparently makes a delicious juice. And because fruit is so inexpensive here, people consume it a lot.
I had mango last night.
Yeah.
Best mango I have ever had.
Yeah, because you can have it like in your backyard and you can grow, and they have all kinds of mango. Pretty good.
So sweet, delicious.
Yeah.
And going crazy for coconuts, coconut water the original way, especially under the sun.
Must try coconut here in Rio.
Yeah, at the beach is a must-have.
But for our food feast, we save the best for last. Codfish cake with seasoning, potatoes, and a drizzle of olive oil.
In America, the finger foods, chicken fingers, mozzarella sticks.
Yeah.
Here in Rio,
yeah,
it's this.
That's it.
It's good.
Good food to go along with an incredibly good life. Marjorie says the people of Rio have an endless love for life and positive way of thinking, which could very well be why they so quickly fell in love with our city of brotherly love, their home away from home.
We hope you've enjoyed this tour of Rio de Janeiro and taste of Brazil, as the much anticipated games of the 31st Olympiad are now within reach. If you won't be here with me in Rio to watch the Olympics, you can see it all unfold, starting with the opening ceremonies Friday, August 5th on NBC 10. To you for watching, and to the people of Brazil, we say thank you, or more appropriately in Portuguese, obrigada.